And we're live.
Welcome to Geekgasm, everybody.
Huzzah!
Yeah, we got some new people. We got Goblin Grim and we got Jason Lennox tonight with us. Meredith might be popping in, not sure. And Nita can't make it tonight. She's on another stream with C. But we do have a lot of people tonight still, and we have questions to be answered and stuff to show off. So it should be fun. And we got Varian back tonight.
Boo.
Not alone. So we're going to hit the intro, and then we'll start introducing everybody. Speak of the devil.
Yeah.
Here.
Hey.
In and out Meredith. She's just popping in for a little while, correct?
I know. You know what's funny is when I started with Geek Insider and we went to the first Comic-Con that was in Space Coast Comic-Con back in February last year. Holy cow, it's almost been a year. I had these little clips called Lady Geek Quickies because they were like 5-minute interviews with people, and they're like, "Oh, I love the name."
Really. I like that.
Hey guys, so did you guys do the intro already?
Yeah, we did.
Oh man, see?
We just haven't introduced ourselves, but
I brought
Talk
us
about
in.
quick. Talk
You
about
weren't
quick.
here. I brought us in. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I looked at the clock and I went, "Oh crap!" So I'm like I'm looking over there, going, "There's my coffee."
Well, introduce yourself first, and then go get your coffee.
All right. I am Meredith Logren. I am the associate editor over at Geek Insider, as well as the executive producer of the Geek Insider podcast, one of the founding 5 of Terraform Comics. And I've got a crowdfund happening right now. It's got about 12 hours to go.
Wow.
12 hours. Holy cow. This 30 days has gone by really, really fast. It is the Compendium of Dread, an anthology of dark fiction. And anybody who's interested, you're seeing like the Genesis story. You are seeing the prose version of a lot of comic books that are going to be coming out in 2021. So I'm really excited about that. Who gets the mic next?
I'm gonna put up the End Is Nigh thing we did last night. There it is. Compendium of Dread in January 28th. I'm sure this number has changed now. At the time we made the graphic, it was 1,053. January 28th. That's tomorrow. You're done.
Yes. I am done. You know, and I didn't realize that Kickstarter, that was like one of my boo-boos, was I didn't realize I could set the timer for when it ends. Otherwise, I never would have set it to end at like 7 o'clock in the morning. So my butt is going to be up early in the morning, killing my F5 button.
Mm-hmm. And then also erroneously listed as from Dreamweaver.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Daphne's book ends February 3rd. So yeah.
Yes.
I'll introduce myself first. Me first. I'm Varian Grant, founder of Indie Vault Media LLC. Tricked and guilted into being here tonight, but I'm here. So yeah, there we go.
Then we'll move on to
Jason.
Yeah, hey, what's going on? So I'm Jason Lenox. I'm an artist, and Indie Princess was kind enough to have me on here. I also have a crowdfunding. It's been going on for 5 days, and I think I'm $200 away from being fully funded. In 5 days, it's going to go 30. So hopefully I can do some stretch goal stuff. So my project's called Lords of the Cosmos. It's a 1980s toy and cartoon themed action comic book that's an anthology with all the stories based around the characters known as Lords of the Cosmos. So it's exciting 80s toy cartoon action and comic book form.
Sounds interesting.
Sounds fun.
So
even the name Lord of what's it? Lord of the Cosmos?
Lords of the Cosmos.
Lords of the Cosmos.
Right?
I mean, like it sounds exactly like something that would have come out back then. So.
Yeah.
And Trish the buyer. What exactly do you buy? I'm just kidding. I just see the buyer. It's like, that's
What don't I buy? Let's just put it out there. What don't I buy? What don't I back? What don't you know what I mean? I'm just like, Jason has something new I didn't know about. I'm like, what do you got? What do you got? I haven't heard this on any of the shows.
I can list stuff that you don't buy, probably.
no, it's funny.
Girl, I couldn't even imagine what to do with it, besides put it on my head, like the bra thing. I mean, it would be like a hat for going to work. I mean, honestly, it would.
Yeah, we were joking about that. We're joking. We did a special stream before this one. We'll get to that later. But Trish, you buy comics.
Yes.
And you're known to back a lot of Kickstarters, a lot of Indiegogo campaigns.
Yes.
And so if Trish doesn't buy from you, it's your own fault, I guess.
Right, because you're not out there enough to come and find me. Because believe me, I'm telling everybody, I'm on Facebook. Look me up. Send me your stuff. Show me your links. I want to buy. I want to support indie comics. And that's what me and my husband do. And, we're out there supporting as best we can. And that's what I do. I'm the buyer. I want to buy your stuff. Show me your stuff. Show me what you got.
Yeah, what was the name of the guy on that that show with the suitcases? The one guy would always make offers. That's like Trish,
Deal or no deal.
right?
Yeah. Deal or no deal. Yeah. Meredith, what are you gonna say?
Yeah, I was going to say, we need people who are like Trish and Mike, who are out there. Not only are they supporting the creators, but they hit the share button all the time. They're talking about it. They keep it. They keep the campaigns going and alive with with that advocacy. It's really important that people do that. And what I was saying as far as like marketing and things like that, people like that are gold, because it takes the creators that step beyond their normal circle to find new people. And that is so important.
Yeah, no, I've been in industrial and commercial sales and management for like 24 years now, and people like Trish, they're not actually customers in terms of buying and selling. They would be called advocates, because not only are they buying something, but then they're advocating and promoting the purchase of it by other people, acting as an extension of a selling team. So, when you're selling anything, finding people like Trish and her husband who are advocates that are out there promoting the things that they're buying. They're rare. They're very valuable. And, that's one of the reasons some brands can get really big, is they can get 10, 20, 30, 100, 1,000 people like Trish that are out there working because they have a love for a product or a brand. So, that's pretty awesome. We have Trish on the show.
I have a book called "How to Turn Customers into Advocates." It's funny that you mentioned that. It's like a 300-page book. I think I'm like in half through the middle of chapter 1. I'm like, this guy keeps talking about the next book I need to buy. Miss Lage.
Yes. Hello.
Who are you?
Me. My name is, hello everyone. My name is Daphne Lage, and I am a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992, and I am known for the funny animal fantasy comic Tall Tales and my medieval drama Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which is in its last week on Kickstarter as we speak. You can read both my books on talltalesonline.com and egoworks.com, EGOWORKS.com. And you can watch my videos on how I make these comics at YouTube at Daphne Lage, LAGE Art.
I was making fun of JD. Yes, a couple days ago. What was one of my favorite pastimes? And he says he was talking.
Risky pastime. It's like it's like throwing sticks at an alligator.
Yeah. He eventually gets me back for him, but I said he was talking about being in the comic store and buying comics, and I said, could you imagine reaching up and picking up a comic, JD? I said, he talked about a comic that he had found. He was happy to get off the shelf. I said, yeah, but she didn't notice, JD, was this down by your knee was a little Varian Grant, probably with an X-Men shirt on, probably no more than 6 years old. Like, excuse me, mister, can I get that book? And you're like, no, kid. I'm like, poor Varian, poor baby Varian, went without that book. I see how it is.
He doesn't let me touch any of his books either, so don't feel too bad.
I see how it is. Goblin Grimm.
Yeah. Goblin Grimm. I'm a freelance artist out of Michigan. Currently working on a comic book that has been kind of a passion project for a while, and so I'm looking forward to getting that one done. Other than that, I'm usually just kind of doing commissions or sketch covers, and usually have sexy superhero babes.
Did you get a new mic?
Yeah, I've had one for a while. It's just I've been kind of fiddling with it.
Your voice is extra bassy. I feel threatened.
You feeling threatened?
I feel threatened. I don't like it, sir. Yeah. Art Victim says, yes, buyer superfans. We love them. The classic street team.
Mhm.
That is correct. That is correct.
Well, you figure so many people like they spend more time complaining about products online than actually like talking about the products they do. So yeah, it's like it's nice to have people who actually advocate for a change.
It is nice. It is nice.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk about that, but before we do that, because I promised.
I'm Lola, the indie princess.
Right.
No one wants to give me a chance to introduce myself.
You know who you are.
It's only your show, right?
Yeah, it's just my show. It doesn't matter. Everyone knows who I am.
No big deal.
No, not at all.
I promised that we talk about this, and we talked about it yesterday. But I've been finding that Geekgasm and Indie Vote do have sometimes two different audiences. So sometimes what we talked about yesterday does not go over to yesterday's audience. And so I'm going to ask you guys, I'm going to put something up here. Please do not contact this person. I've deleted their information, so you can't really, unless you're really, really good, or you start doing some research, or you've already heard about it.
Oh boy.
But I ask that you not contact people. Don't bother them. Leave them be.
If it's what I think it is, they probably locked down their account already by now.
Hopefully they did. I might have to put it up the old-fashioned way rather than because apparently the putting up the cool way isn't working right now. But here we'll put up the old-fashioned way. Give me 1 second. In a segment we like to call "Say What." Here it is.
Before you do that, I have to get going, you guys. I am so sorry. I am the family taxi this week and next, and that is why I cannot stay.
No problem.
But I love you guys. Have a great show. I've got mom duties.
Meredith, good luck with your Kickstarter.
Thank you. And I hope to talk to you all for a Geek Speak coming up very soon. Talk to
All
you
right,
later.
Meredith. We will
Thank
see
you
you.
guys.
Bye.
Drive safe.
Bye.
Thanks.
Now it comes up when I get it uploaded. I see how it is. Okay. Well, now I can bring it up all sexy. Okay. Here we go.
Oh, thank you.
Section with the call "Say What." This is from Facebook, and says a good critic always puts more into writing about artwork than the artist puts into making it. The artist only creates. The critic must plumb that creation and also write creatively enough to deliver the full volume of the art while also creating a thing of beauty and clarity itself. What say you guys? We'll start with Jason. He's the newbie. Let's start with Jason. Jason, what do you think about that?
So, at some point, criticism and critiques are great, because if you want to get better, you need to have people point out things that you're doing with a fresh set of eyes or a fresh set of ears. And I think you have to take it a couple ways, because I don't like country music at all, but I recognize there are people that are really good at it. I just don't like any of it. So, for me to say I don't like country music, this is invalid, isn't really good criticism. It's just that I don't like it. So, my stuff in my book is like 80s toy cartoon stuff. So you may say, I don't like that. I want more of like a goth romance. So to me, that's not necessarily a critique. It's just saying, I don't like it. However, on the other hand, someone could say, well, this story doesn't make sense, and here's why it doesn't make sense. Or there's an error, like you made a mistake, like this didn't happen or before that. So to me, you have to discern what the criticism is, and to really critique something, you have to put a lot of thought in, because you got to unpack what it is. And again, even the quality of the critique is just saying, I don't like this because I don't like anything like that, versus I really like this genre. Let me unpack why I think it's derivative, or you're a copycat, or this makes no sense. So I do agree with that. It does take a lot of time to actually critique everything. I watch The Expanse every week on Amazon, and there's a couple websites. I love to read their critiques of the shows because the show, each episode is so complicated. I like to read the critics analyze the show. Like, that gives me additional enjoyment because the people that are writing about the show are putting a ton of thought that even helps me enjoy the actual presentation of the show more. But they're well thought out critics, not just people saying, I think science fiction's stupid, I don't like it. That wouldn't mean anything to me. So there's my critique of the guy talking about critiques.
Jagarba's comment I said, I would love that person kind of information because his drug dealer has to be selling some wonderful psychedelic stuff.
We'll make sure you get that. Thank you so much.
Now, Trish, you are a buyer, and last night we had a question that came in. It says, this guy doesn't create. He's probably just someone who buys and reads comics like most critics. But I see you shake your head when you're looking at this. So you don't agree with this guy. You are a buyer, but you do read comics and you do kind of critique them after you read them, right?
Oh, definitely. I will definitely critique something, but to say that what you write is more valuable than what the artist is, let's go a little sadistic, and some of those artists that actually use their own blood or their flesh and, actually put themselves into a painting, or, go to that extreme. They don't sleep for 8 weeks or whatever. You know what I mean? They put their body through hell to get that picture out. So you telling me that that's not as important as what the words are? That's where I stand on it.
Mm-hmm. Daphne, what do you think?
Well, there's two things. Because I knew about this in advance, I kind of ruined my initial response by realizing that this is probably a critic in more of like the art gallery scene rather than the comic book scene. So pretty much like, so in the art gallery scene, the role of the critic is to pretty much convince billionaires which artwork would launder their money the best. So, so that would be his, that would be his position. The part that I have the biggest problem with is that how it's like he's pretty much writing his content is writing the coattails on the creator, yet he's at the same time belittling the work we put into creating. So it's just kind of funny how it's like, oh, so, like somehow his input is more important than what he's basing that input on, which is absolutely ridiculous because I
feel you, Daphne.
I know. Because the thing is, there was a phrase that I remember hearing somewhere. I don't know whether it was like a TV show or something, but it was like, art doesn't exist until a critic says it does. And right. That's kind of like the same kind of response that I'm having to it, that it's like that he's pretty much saying, I mean, that's what he's pretty much saying, that it's like, oh, well, we just create, it's like, it's kind of like our work is important enough for him to pretty much base a career on it, but at the same time, he has to belittle what we do at the same time. So it's like, honey, which is it? Are we important that you have to critique it, or we're just a bunch of people waiting for your blessing? It's a lot of thoughts.
Goblin Grim, is this your first time seeing this, or had you heard about this?
Did we lose Goblin?
Oh, well, we might have lost him.
Huh? Oh, no, I'm here. No, I sorry. I did catch the show last night while I at work, I snuck it on my phone. So, I definitely, this guy's a jackass.
Yeah.
A lot of people put a lot of work. I mean, when you have artists that work a full-time job like I do, and they still, are working on a comic book or whatever, or even there's some people out there knocking out like 2 or 3 books, you don't get any sleep. You're all your free time and all your days off are dedicated to getting these projects done. And to say that they have no value or whatever until, or he puts more work into his critique or whatever, that's just complete crap.
I agree. Lola, what do you think? You think he's got a point there?
No, he doesn't have a point. He's full of shit.
Well,
his point's on top of his head.
Yeah, he's probably talking. This is a guy who helps sell, rotting bananas duct tape to canvas. So, he has to justify his job.
Yeah, he's
living on the fine art, like. Yeah, even as far as like fine art and stuff, like some of the like, there's some artists that are a little nuts. Throwing elephant poop at a canvas, calling it art. Yeah, that's Zelda. She wanted to be part of the show.
No, I think Daphne has a point with the billionaires and the money laundering and the critics, because when that banana incident happened that just got mentioned, I remember I talked to a friend about that, and they said, I think that was done on purpose to get regular people to think this is so stupid they won't look, as a distraction to get people to not watch the gallery, seeing that was done very intentionally to get people to make fun of it like we're doing now, to ignore it, to hide the badness. And it stuck with me that wasn't really that calculated. And maybe it's not, but I think Daphne's hitting the nail on the head with the gallery critic for that world is important, because they do drive sales in the gallery world.
There was that.
I remember.
Go ahead, Gabi. Go ahead.
I remember this one story. This guy that went to a art museum or an art gallery, and he took off he dropped his glasses, and they ended up falling off to the side, and people were stopping and taking pictures of his glasses because they thought it was part of an art exhibit.
That happened.
Fine art. What are you doing, Zell? The art world. They're kind of nuts and really pretentious, and gatekeepy. So I could see a critic for that, area being very gatekeepy as well, and just think that their critique is more important than the art.
Yeah, because back when I was at SVA, I was in the fine art department technically, and they would send us, the teachers would send us to these galleries to see this ridiculous artwork. And there was one time I had my mom with me, and she threw her gum out in what she thought was a garbage can, and the gallery owner freaked out because she had thrown her gum in a piece of art. And but it was just a garbage can with paint splattered on it. It's so, and the thing is that it's there was something and so it's the gallery owner was freaking out, and it's look, in the end, it's you want to be all edgy by demanding that, you ask the question, what is really art? Don't get upset when someone actually gives you an answer.
Yeah. It's this is the trash can.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was going to say, about 8 years ago, I was asked to attend a conference at Penn State University for arts funding for gifted children. And I ran into a bunch of PhD students and instructors for art education. And I started talking to them, and they were very excited about all the certificates they had to teach art. And I remember I said to him, well, what is it, what do you draw? What do you make? And this one young lady got really upset, and she started spouting off all of these certifications that she had, and asked me what I said, I don't have any, but I make things, I get money to draw. And she sneered at me, and then I started sneering at her. And I think in that kind of gate kept world, I would say, hey, wow, Frank Cho draws amazing things. I don't know if Frank Cho has any, letters behind his name that says he draws stuff. We just all know that Frank Cho draws really badass stuff. It speaks for itself. Whereas in that world, it's like, well, I have this certificate, Daphne. What do you have? And in that world, I think they get really excited about, well, I have this. I have a, P7R certification. But show me something that knocks my socks off. Can you do that?
Well, it's like, yeah, because when they want, because they don't create, so that's why they get a hard on for all the certifications, because it's the only thing they have.
It was strange.
This is the same.
I couldn't relate to it.
Yeah.
This is the same world where a large canvas with a blue stripe painted on it can sell for millions of dollars, but the best portrait artists out there have a hard time selling their amazing, oil painted portraits for $100.
Yeah. Right, but again, money laundering. So ever since I learned that whole thing about money laundering, it made me look at the whole thing very differently.
Trish, could you ever see yourself becoming a fine art buyer?
No, because I like what I like, and I have no reason not to like what I like, and that's what I was going to say was I buy what I like, and I don't care if it's vampires and titties and 80s and 90s genre. That's my thing. I dig it. So I'll buy it. I don't care if it's like, oh, Trish, this is the most amazing thing and you got to have it in your house. No, I don't want that. That's garbage. I'd rather have a poster of some vampire chick with her titties hanging out than some $1,000 poster of some flowers. I'll be like, what the shit is this? It doesn't match my house. It doesn't match me. I'm going to buy what I like.
I think that square blue thing you're talking about, going back to what Daphne said, that was an investment. That would be like saying, Trish, would you get excited to have 10,000 shares of Exxon? And if you were a commodities investor or a stock investor, you might say, yes, I want that because I feel this has a good dividend. And that blue square, whether it's investing to resell it or to money launder, those things to me, they're not like, Trish is a buyer that's buying from the heart. She's buying what she likes, whereas that other stuff, it's buying stuff for investments. You might as well go buy orange juice futures like Trading Places. I think that's what the blue square was. Or money.
Exactly what there is. Yeah.
But I do buy for investments too. There are certain comic books that I seek out, like Harley Quinn's first appearance. I will definitely get that one because that's my girl. And I will have that slabbed and I will own that. You know what I mean? There are certain things that I will go out because I want that. And I know that that's an investment. And so I do that, but it's also what I like too. So.
Yeah.
I just want to say I like Goblin's art. It's like super realistic. I want it.
I know, right? I love that. Like, I gotta learn his technique for fur texture.
I know.
I've given up on attempting to draw the sketch cover because she gets what she wants. She's the star of the show now.
Your art is super realistic.
Yeah.
Indie Princess, I knew there'd be pussy on your show eventually. I just didn't know it was going to be tonight.
Yeah. Very softly type YouTube doesn't mind.
Goblin Grimm is going to make a fortune in the furry market at this rate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm not even a furry artist.
You don't have to be. You just got to draw the right stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Teddy Roosevelt versus Bigfoot. GR Comic-Con is not having blue square fine art snobbery. I don't feel it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the projects we have on now. Jason, you have a comic that you have. Is it on Kickstarter?
Yeah, so my comic is on Kickstarter right now. It's in day 5. So it's Lords of the Cosmos. It's the 4th issue. It's got 4 stories in it. It's a 40-page book with 5 variant covers. And it has all kinds of 80s goodness to the back cover. We built a toy. Every issue we built a toy of one of the characters. And so then a friend of mine photographed it, and then we built a digital package around it. So it looks like it's a blister pack in a store from when I would have grown up in the 80s. Mm-hmm. And so all the stories in it are the main story and then stories that branch off from it. So there's cyborgs, there's a talking cat, there's wizards, there's Greek gods, there's a gigantic turtle that has a battleship built on it that shells a beach like Saving Private Ryan when there's robots and werewolves running onto the beach. And there's a zombie unicorn. and it's just really over the top. We had a couple backers from issue 3 that are characters in the book, and yep, there it is. We have an animated trailer for it. Issue 4 is going to have a 1980s Saturday morning cartoon ad in it for the fictional cartoon and the cartoon shows that would have been around it in the 80s that didn't exist, but we made them all up. So
please tell me you did them in the style of the TV guide.
yeah, we actually did. We did. So my buddy, if you scroll down to the bottom, keep scrolling. The TV ad is in there. Keep going. It's in there. But yeah, no, my friend Joe did the ad for me, and then he did it kind of that old, choppy kind of paper 80s TV guide ad. But now this book took about 15 months to make. So we were kind of just working away on it during quarantine and everything else. And it's just a lot of big dumb fun. We're going to have a letters page in it. There it is. There's the Saturday morning cartoon ad, right?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
That's awesome.
So
yeah,
it was funny. I had a person go on my Facebook page and like, this seems a lot like Masters of the Universe. And I'm like, well, that's good because, we talk about that in the description that we took cues from like that, Thundar, the old Filmation, Flash Gordon, Black Star, shows like that were the things I grew up on. So all the bad guys have a logo, the heroes have a logo. So it's kind of got that Transformers flair to it. We've been building toys there's the toy, right? So we've been building toys for every issue. And it's just fun. I mean, it's just a fun book. It's a little crazy. It's a little violent. It's been fun to get backers into the book. We're working on issue 5 and 6 right now simultaneously. 5's a little bit more done than 6, but it's just a fun book. We had a lot of people work on it. I don't know. It's just whether you're getting into this issue or you've been following it, we try to make it fun. We try to start doing a lot of callbacks. So there's callbacks in this issue to the first issue, and because in the first issue we started putting callbacks to stuff that we didn't even make yet, and it's just been a lot of fun. It's just been a fun book, and we've just gotten a better and better response each time. So,
do you have a catch-up tier, Jason? Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. Do I have a catch-up tier? Yeah, you can get all the books as digital or print, so they're all in there 1 to 4. You can get them.
Yeah, there it is. $35 for the physical copies. It is right there. Anywhere in the world. So our people who are listening internationally on Indie Vote Radio, which I just got the numbers for, they can check that out right now. Indie Vote Radio, 22410 listening. Thank you. I want to thank the UK right now as well as Australia. I don't have a third country there. It's populating, I guess. So this looks pretty good. I do like that 80s aesthetic. I grew up. I was born in 82.
Okay.
So for me, I remember running to the TV and watching my cartoons with my cereal, and I maintain that I'm an 80s kid. However, so does Lola, but I don't give her that. I say she wasn't. Look, again, Lola was born March 28th, 1989. I'm sorry, December 28th. December 28th, 1989. As far as I'm concerned, she didn't take her first poop until 1990. So she's barely an 80s kid, barely. And made it by 3 days. I do. As a matter of fact, Eric Hodgson's Dreaded Dinosaur Man on Webtoon is the ode to the 80s cartoons, and even from the way he draws it and builds it. So this reminds me a lot of that. 25 days left to go on this campaign. You guys can get into it over on Kickstarter. What you're going to do is you're going to go over to Lords of the Cosmos on Kickstarter and get yourself a couple of copies of that. You got to catch up tier, $35. That's I think that's as cheap as I've seen catch-up tiers. Usually they're like $50.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was about to say too. Yeah.
My goal, honestly, has been to try to get reasons to get people the books. Like, we have original art tiers. You can get an original art page for like $75. Like, the whole point is to get the stuff into people's hands, because once you start asking for more and more money, I'd rather have more and more people read the books and maybe not make as much money, because to me it was always more about just getting it in people's hands and to get people excited and build the fan base not so much to say, hey, I want more money, because that was never the point. I mean, there's more profitable art that I can make, but I put a lot of time into this just because I really dig this stuff, and I guess the real reason I make it is it's the book that I would want to read. So I'm just trying to make the best book that I would want to read if I, whether it's me now or me that I was 15. So I try to find people to work with me that kind of have that vision and feel the same way about it. And the more people we've got into it, I don't know, it's just been a really good growing group of people. We had Matt Triana, who's an amazing artist that I met years ago at a show down in Reading, Pennsylvania. We've had Bob Hack, who does work for Archie, do some stuff on issue 2. Dave Sharp, who does the lettering for Green Lantern, lettered this book for us. So now, I mean, we've been lucky enough to have some really talented people kind of touch base with us and get involved. So it's been a lot of fun. It's a great book. Issue 4 is awesome, but every issue's been awesome to date. So yeah, get the catch up tier, check it all out. We have the PDFs as well. I think you can get those pretty expensively too.
And these are looking to ship in September 2021. So, I always look at it and think, oh, it's so far away. And then the next thing you know, the books are in your hands. And I've been lucky. I've been getting some packages from creators that are ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
Which kind of upsets me, because I'm waiting for a book and I'm thinking I'm going to get the book in March and it shows up in January. And I'm like, well, there goes my March reading. I have my schedule planned out. Thank you very much. And you come being all extra, the customer conscious and crap. Now I got the book out early. My schedule's wrong. It's blown. Go over there, everyone. Check out Lords of the Cosmos on Kickstarter. We'll check back in with it by the end of the show. Right now, 103 backers. He's approaching that goal. $4,000 goal. You're like just a couple dollars from hitting, and I'm pretty sure you will.
Yeah, I think we're $160 away. And just one last thing, the book is like 98% done. The only thing that we have to do is put the backers thank you page together, which we can't do till the Kickstarter is over. And we have to make one pinup, and we're going to make a letters page. So we want people to write us letters. So, if you want to find me and send me a letter, we're going to put letters in the book like it's an old book from the 80s. So we've asked for letters. No one's giving us letters because nobody wants to write a damn letter. You can email it to us or email it to me, but we're looking for letters to do a letters page. So
I'll send a letter in.
Okay, we'll print your letter.
Yeah.
No, we want letters.
Yeah.
So what made this one to where you're like going out and kind of promoting it more than the other ones? Because I have never heard of you until 40 minutes ago, if that. So that's why I'm like, where have you been? Show me your stuff.
So I'll be honest, I think I got more organized with every single book, and for this book, I tried to press release it and really reach out to say I got to get off my ass and talk to more people. And sometimes it's just getting out of your comfort zone and saying, get me on your platform. So I appreciate you having me on, and I have to get outside of my comfort zone to come on and be kind of more of a media guest appearance. So I don't know. I appreciate you having me and giving me a shot. Hopefully I'm a good guest, and I'd love to be back again in the future. I've been doing a show every day this week. I'm doing one tomorrow. I'm doing one Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday next week. So I kind of feel like I'm on a press junket, and it's fun.
Yeah, we'll have to get you on. We'll have to get you on Livewire at some point.
Yeah, please.
I see Goblin Grim is steadily poking the cat down there. That's quite nasty. That's quite nasty. We don't do pornography on this.
Well, now she's eating my comics. We stop.
Let's go into the questions here. We got one from Amy W. Lola curated these questions this week. So let's take a look. Amy W. says, is a community of artists important to you? Says Amy W. Wow. Oh, that makes my stomach turn. Because let me tell you about the community, Amy. Let me get drunk and tell you about the community. Yeah, see, even Goblin. Let me tell you about this community of artists. Let me tell you. See, I've been drinking too, so.
Avoid the Facebook groups.
Yeah, shit. Yeah.
I would say avoid Twitter.
Yeah, that too, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh god, that would be the pro artists though. The indie artists on the community groups, especially the artists versus the writers on those community groups. It gets nuts.
Geez, it's like what that argument comes up every 6 months.
Yeah, who should get paid more?
Yeah, who should get credited? Who's more important? It's
Yeah, my roommate just got into it with a guy who was talking about how writers aren't creative at all. It's all the artist. It's like, dude,
for
no.
Pete's sake.
Yeah.
You guys are important. Screw you guys. Yeah, that's kind of sad. But yeah, community, is it important to me as an artist? I like to know other artists, and it's funny because you look at my son's birthday party. That's what's usually around. A lot of the artists that I've met, Eric Hudson, Dave Brown. There's just so many of them that come around. Scott Zambelli. These are all artists that they live close by me. I often joke that if a bomb goes off in our neighborhood, indie comics in Michigan is screwed. Oh, we live so close to each other, and it's funny because it's like, how did this happen? How do we all migrate this close to each other? It's just weird, but yeah, I mean that's okay. But when it gets online, and I think that that anonymity of being online kicks in, we can be some straight up asses to one another. Especially me. I can be he's tracing that, right? No, I know one artist. Look, I know an artist is getting all types of props for her artwork, and it was brought to my attention that she's tracing it, and I was showing proof. And I was like, oh shit, because I admit, I gotta admit, there was a big jump in quality.
Right.
But I thought it was just because she put her head down for 2 months and just, started grinding, learning and everything. Because I'm a sucker for an underdog story, and it wasn't. It's not that. It's that she discovered the right box. Yes.
It's a shame because she's only cheating herself. I mean, depending on how much tracing. I mean, using reference is not a thing. It is not a bad thing. Everyone uses reference. It's like draw a bicycle from memory. If you want to convince yourself you need reference.
Yeah.
But I mean, depending on how much if she's just actually tracing other people's stuff and just tweaking a few things, and I mean, yeah, she's only cheating herself by doing that.
Yeah, it's
like, no, you use the reference and grind it. That's the only real way to improve.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, man, there was this kid in my classroom named Jerry, and I had one day learned how to draw the Ninja Turtles as they looked in the cartoon. Just one day, it snapped into place. Wait a minute. I get it. There's a circle above the eye, and the eyes are circles, and so I drew it at home, and I drew all the turtles, and I came back to school, and I gave the teacher to hang up because we had an art wall. She hung it up on the wall, and Jerry comes over to me, you trace that. And when you're an artist, you're a kid in school, someone telling you trace something is fighting words.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
I'll meet you on the playground.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, I didn't. I can redraw, and I redrew it. He didn't like that at all. But you have to prove yourself constantly. Like I can redraw that, and I just, it's that type of community is still there. Type of haterocracy, I call it.
Yeah. You see, the funny thing is that back in when I went in back in high school, I mean, there was a whole group of us that was that JD liked to call the piranha tank, because it's we're all watching. It's like we're all hanging out, we're all drawing, but we're all watching each other, and we're all side-eyeing each other, and we're all improving as a result of that. Because we had also, it's like we loved each other's work, but we also had that haterade going. So it's like, and the thing is though, and it's like, so we would all be, just feeding off of each other. And we would get kind of artistically aggressive because of that. Like if you you had to have a certain personality type to hang with us.
Yeah.
So it's like, so in that sense, I mean, the community was extremely beneficial to us.
Mhm.
I mean, even now, sometimes I kind of miss that. You know, it's like being in constant contact with with physically seeing people and seeing their artwork and working with them and you know, like feeding off of that energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, in that sense, community is important, you know, because like, yeah, you do benefit from that.
We had a group here. We used to go meet once a month. We used to meet a bunch of artists, and we'd meet, and then go draw, and it was cool. It was cool. It really worked out well because like in high school, I went to a smaller high school, so we had the geek table, and we would draw and look at our comic books, and that was cool, and like you said, very beneficial. But then when you have the art groups, that when you're all grown, there's a problem because people don't know how to. Never mind.
Well,
For me, I love artist groups because like artist communities, because y'all fight and like, oh well, I can do that for $50. No, I can do it for 45. Well, I'll do it for 40. Okay, sold.
We fight.
That's a different kind of fight. Yeah.
But I'm honest. I'm like, who's gonna give me the best price? You know.
Yeah. Trish, are you a purchasing agent in your non Trish the Buyer life?
I do.
Are you? Yeah.
I do buy, and actually that's one of my jobs I have.
Okay.
Where I work. We provide food because of the COVID stuff. Where I work, I put out snacks, and my boss gave me a budget, and it's like, stick to it. And he's like, Trish, you are so amazing with numbers, but you know, so it's like everybody's like, Trish is feeding us. We get to eat really good. So
I have something to show real quick that just came in before our next question.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Hold on, let me bring it up.
What is that?
My fetish book, my ABC fetish book. That is X-ray sex.
Oh, that's one of the fetishes, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. I forgot that's a fetish.
Yeah. That was an interesting list you sent me, Lola. That was like, she says choose one, and I'm like, oh my goodness. I have to look some of
I got
them up.
mine all inked, but I can't throw that up on the screen because it's definitely not as PG-13 as that one is.
So, Lola, the fetish book is you went through and took all the fetishes, because this is another project, a side project from your comic.
Yeah, it's gonna be It's gonna be an added book to the main one.
So you are okay. So
yeah.
Now you went through and took a fetish from every
letter
of the alphabet.
Yep.
And you mean to tell me that somebody out there turned on my X-ray sex?
Yes.
Now I'll tell you what the all of the little ribbons remind me of, the earrings and stuff remind me of. They remind me of when you swallowed your tongue ring and we took it to the hospital.
Yeah.
And they scanned your stomach, and there's like right in the middle, like there's this ring, and it looks so funny. I'm like, what is this? And she was like, I
still have that X-ray.
Trish is still shocked about what she saw. You can't tell if she's frozen or she's just
Oh, she's frozen.
No, I'm back now. I'm back.
But yeah, she had her tongue ring stuck in her stomach, and that X-ray reminds me of. It was so funny to watch Lola just sit there in the hospital.
I was used to it. You're the one that made me go to the hospital.
Well, yeah, because you swallowed a tongue ring. I didn't know what to do. I'm like,
I'm used to it.
Is she gonna poop it out? What's going on?
Well, yeah,
let nature take its course.
Get it eventually. it's what is it, like stainless steel or silver or something,
Stainless steel.
But when she gets it back, she doesn't want it.
I've swallowed at least 20 to 25 tongue rings.
Wow.
And she's okay with that.
It's actually pretty common.
Yeah.
I would think so, yeah.
I got mad when she swallowed a cool Marvel one once. I'm like, no.
Oh no.
Yeah, I love that X-ray art. Great piece as art victim. Let's look at a question from Doug here. Doug says, "Are you someone who reads comics and then gets excited to make more comics, or is your passion for making comics not linked to any particular love for other comics?" Doug, I want to say that if I could not draw, I would not like comics. That's how I've always been that way. If I couldn't draw, I wouldn't like comics. It's weird, I know.
No, I can agree with that. I really do. Yeah, if I couldn't draw, oh yeah, what would I be into?
You don't have any other comics you guys like read, or you just read your own?
Oh no, I mean,
no, we have our collections.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
But it's like if we couldn't draw, like I don't know if comics would have been a thing for us the way it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have been that big. I might have still had like a comic book or two, maybe a couple of graphic novels around, but I don't think I'd be like a part of the industry. I definitely yeah. I'm not sure I would, if I could not draw.
I think it's a good question. Trish, the comic that I read, and I'm still not done reading it, is Attack on Titan. I just think that's a high end book. The art to me is so good, and it's so. I don't know. I look at it and then I'm like, how do they do that? It's like you want to try to get better. So like for me, if I read a book like that, I appreciate it because I think it's a really awesome book. But then I'm also like looking at some of the pages and I'm like, how did they think of that? You know what I mean? Like you appreciate how good it is and how hard it is to make.
Yeah.
And then I sometimes look at it and I kind of feel humbled. Like I don't think I'm there. You know what I mean? So that to me, then it's like I want to get better. So I guess to me, it's more like I read it and I get fired up to be like, you see something really awesome that you're doing the same trade and you're like, I got to do better because that's better than me, you know, but you can appreciate it and love it. Right.
Oh.
And I love reading it, you know?
Right. No, but your book excites me because I love everything 80s. You know what I mean? Because that's when I was growing up. And I've already asked Mike like 4 times. I'm like, did you back it? Did you back it? Did you back it yet? He's like, I'm on doing something, honey. I'm like, I don't care if you're talking to anybody. I want to back this book.
I think that I mean, when and again, I was reading comics before I knew I could draw. The only time what made me draw was that my aunt would make these out. They didn't at the time. They didn't have Alvin and the Chipmunk toys at the time. They were like a year before they came out, the action figures. So my aunt would draw them for me and cut them. And she would cover them and cut them out. So I had these Alvin and Chipmunk paper dolls basically. And my aunt went way far with it. She actually sometimes she would cut them to tape them to cardboard, glue them to cardboard so they wouldn't tear. She built me their house, 2 stories.
Wow.
And she drew the walls and everything. But as the figures would get ratty, I'd ask her, could you draw me a new Alvin? My Alvin's getting messed up. And one day she said, no, you can draw it yourself. And I must have been about 4. And I got so upset with her. And I sat down and she gave me my Alvin Chipmunk album cover. She says, here, just draw them off of that. And I used that to draw them, and I actually like what I drew. And for me, those were cooler because I drew them. And it's funny though, because to this day now, I'll tell my aunt, I'm better than you, right? I don't know about all that. I'm like, I'm much better. I'm a much better artist than you. Now, thank you. And she's like, I don't know about it. She might be watching the show. She knows it's true. Girl, you know it's true. Ooh, I'll draw you.
No, for me it was like the same way. It's like the Secret of Nim came out in 82 when you were born. And and I was extremely frustrated that there wasn't like a lot of merchandising on it. So I started forcing myself to draw the characters. Just so that I could have different things with them. But even now, it's like there's certain comics that I have in my collection that just looking at them puts me on the verge of tears. They're so beautiful. And I'm like, it's like I can't top it, but man, does it make me want to work on my own stuff, just to
it gets you fired up.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. It's mostly it's the right now it's Meta Barons And
Oh my.
there's a French comic that I just absolutely adore by I think it's Enrico Marini, called Eagles of Rome. And oh my God, his artwork makes me weep every time I see it. And it's like this, I mean, it's like, man. and then I just get, I just get fired up to do my own stuff, you know. With it.
I will tell you this, Daphne. Nim, I watched the first one.
Well, that's the only one that exists.
Well, no, there's that second. Well, there's a second one.
There is no second.
Yeah. See, then my teacher showed me the second one, and I'm like,
no second one.
What is this? And I remember watching that second that blasphemy. That shit ain't canon. That shit can't be canon. And I'm like, what?
Well, technically, the first one's not canon either. So, you know, I mean, if you read the book, but
and I'm watching, and I'm sorry, spoiler for anybody, but they kill Nicodemus. Yeah, and I'm like, well, I remember as a little boy saying, I mean, in class, I must have been like 8 or 9, saying, "The fuck," like. Whoa.
No, really, that was part of that. That was a formative movie for me, you know, because of how dark it was. I was incredibly disappointed when I read the book, and the movie was not. Let's just say Don Bluth took a lot of liberties. But that movie, it's that. It's like you said, what the fuck, and I said, what the fuck.
You know, from that time period, 82, my big cartoon love affair was Dragon's Lair, which is the guy that made Secret of Nim. And ironically, there was just a thing that I bought from this company that makes little like 1/6 arcade machines. Right now, I have an arcade Dragon's Lair in my rec room that's about 18 inches high. And it's a full arcade cabinet with a joystick.
Yeah.
And that was my like heartthrob cartoon as a kid, because I wanted more violent material, but I wanted the quality, and that was the only thing that I could find.
That was kind of the thing too that I kind of went through back then. Right?
Yeah, and it had violence. And like if I remember right, I think I just saw something about Secret of Nim, like the big fight at the end, didn't they use the movie Vikings?
Something like that, They
for like 58.
Something. Well, it was inspired by a very particular scene, because like when
in Vikings.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It was pretty much scene for scene.
I'm overclapped now.
Disney did that a lot too, though.
Yeah.
I have that arcade machine pre-ordered, Jason.
Good man.
And the thing is, so I now that you told me you got yours, I'm adding my credit card's gonna get hit pretty soon. So when I see it's missing, I'm gonna.
It honestly, it impressed. Like it blew me away with the quality. My kids were playing it, and my 6-year-old was swearing because he's used to playing things like Animal Crossing, and Dragon's Lair is like this harsh master where it's like you lose. And he was getting very angry, but he kept wanting to play. Luckily, it's like endless free play if you want to set it up that way. So he was just doing it over and over and over and over. But yeah, no, that was my cartoon heartthrob. I remember as a kid, they had trading stickers, and I made a poster of all the stickers. And then with crayons, I drew Dirk the Daring across the top. And I remember struggling to draw that damn font across, and I was so excited and proud that I drew those characters. And I remember I would make watercolors of like scenes from the cartoon where I would see it at the arcade, and you'd come home and try to remember what you saw because there was nothing. There was nothing to take home.
Right.
So
Exactly,
I remember, and I got these trading stickers. They were like cards, but they were stickers at a farmer's market. I would just stare at the clean shots on those stickers because that was the only media I could see of it in 82.
Well, you know, the thing is, when I get mine though, I can't put it together. Because Daffy, you know this. I gotta send the marquee. I gotta put it in the mail and send it to John so he can sign it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I gotta put it in the mail so John can sign it with a self-addressed, self-returned envelope. Then John's gotta put it. I begged him, and then I gotta put it back in the mail so then I can get it and put it together, and then never play it because I'll tell him, son, John Celestri signed this. You're not playing it. What's your problem? You're gonna sweat. So what if some sweat from your forehead flies off of your brow onto the marquee, hits his autograph, and it starts to run? What will you do then? And they watch him be like, "Why'd you get him to sign it in that?" Because I wanted it signed by John. That's why. Did John work on Secret of Them?
No, John. No, he did Dragon's Lair.
Yeah, he did Dragon Lair and Space Ace.
Yeah, Space Ace. Yeah.
Yeah, and Turbo Team, which
well,
Yeah. There's a.
he doesn't want to admit that. He doesn't want to admit Turbo Team, but
well, and then there was the ultra obscure Dragon's Lair too that they put way more effort into that than anything else, and like it like flopped, and it was no one knew it existed.
yeah, no one plays that one. That one. Yeah.
Well, that was probably like at the very end of like the arcade era, and
Yeah,
I think like in the midst of the console.
I think it stumbled out around 19. Well, I don't know, like 89 or maybe like 90 or something like that. It just missed that weird window where it was like
in 8 quarters. In 8 quarters all the time. Oh,
Yeah.
No, and I think when Dragon's Lair 1 came out, I think it was a combination of like just all things lined up, the style, the content, the technology, and it was just kind of like a moment, and then it just went away. And Space Ace was kind of I mean, it was cool, but it never caught on. And then Dragon's Lair 2, I found it in 1992 when I was at art school at a mall in the summer. And I was like, wait, there's another Dragon's Lair? Like, kind of like the Secret of Nim 2. I was like, wait, there's Dragon's Lair 2? Yeah. And I remember just staring at it like I'd found like the lost secret city of gold. And it was just like, I remember and my buddies were like, what's the big deal? And I was like, there's another one. And it blew my mind because I loved that game as a kid. Still love it. But but it never caught on.
So, no, Daphne, when you were talking about what you did for NIM stuff because there was nothing, well, see, my grandma, she tried to find stuff for me, and she found Rizzo the rat. She found like 6 of them. And so she dressed them all up, and she's like, "Here's your rat family."
There you go.
Wow.
You know what? That an acceptable substitution.
Heather P says, "What is one skill that would keep you the most if you could choose? Would help you the most if you could choose one?"
Wow.
Coloring. I would like to learn how to color digitally better.
Yeah, same.
Architecture.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Also, yeah.
I got to tell you, and it always vexes me, is just getting better at hands and faces. You know what I mean? Like I try. I think I'm getting better. Yeah, and the other thing, honestly, that drives me crazy is guns. Like drawing guns and handguns and pistols and things like that, and just the drawing the guns and then how they interact with the hands. And there's always something that just drives me nuts about draw. Like they always look cool, but they're a pain in the ass. Guns.
Yeah. And it's it's funny. It's kind of like the same with architecture, that it's like it there's such a specificity to it. Specificity? Yeah, something like that. That's that word. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. that you get like one little thing wrong, and the whole thing looks wrong.
Yeah,
You
know what?
Yeah.
I drew a poster that I haven't really put online of a guy shooting a monster with a shotgun, and I ended up printing out blown up parts diagrams of like Remington shotguns, and then I started falling down the shotgun rabbit hole of like, wait, when you cock the thing, like where does it go and what's the shape?
Right,
and like it's like you said about drawing a bike, Daphne. Like you see it, and then you start falling into the rabbit hole of like a 12 gauge shotgun. Where does the bullets go? Where do they come out? How
exactly.
And then you know what got me? I'll say this, and I'll stop my shotgun talk. Is that I took photographs of my dad with a shotgun to try to like understand just even how his hands worked, and using my reference. My dad holds a shotgun in a certain way where his index finger was running straight on the far side, so you couldn't see it. So I would only see his 3 fingers, and I kept looking at it saying, that doesn't make any sense. It looks like he's missing a finger, but I knew where his finger was. And then I had to go get my shotgun out, and then I was putting a camera on a tripod and playing with my hand to see, wait, is it normal to put your 4th finger? And I realized you could. And Oh my God! And now I'm having flashbacks.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, no, that's the crazy.
you get sucked into it.
Yeah,
I
that's
bought
the
a book on
craziest
it.
thing about reference too, because it's like there's some things that I see in real life that if I drew it exactly the way I saw it, people would think I just had a stroke.
Yeah, it doesn't look right. And this thing with my father's hand,
Yeah.
right? I took pictures of him with a gun. I was like, okay, just trying to understand it. And I'm like, wait, why does he only have 3 fingers?
Right.
Mhm.
And then I asked him. He goes, "Well, I put my finger straight." I was like, "But that doesn't look right." He goes, "Well, that's how I hold my gun."
Yeah. Well, your dad probably uses trigger control.
Ah.
Oh, you don't see it. So that's why, because not all my characters have trigger control. Although I will show you this one other reference. I bought a reference book, by the way, from Ollie's with a bunch of guns on it. But also, very quickly, I put this up there because I know Facebook frowns upon guns. But real quick, when I need a reference, bam, Lolo for shotgun. I had Lola for shotgun up there, and I was like, "Hey, I need a chick with shotgun," and she actually is a. I've used her as a model for a bunch of characters, but there's a character in my book called The Begotten that is based heavily on Lola, to the point where like
it's Lola.
it basically is her. And we joke about that, like, you know, she's like, if you kill that character, I know what you're saying. Like, yep, you know what's going on. Let's see here. Last question is from Ryan. Ryan says, do you compose the page as a whole, or do you focus more on an individual panel composition?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Every panel is a panel. I don't think about the whole page. I know that I should do that, but
see,
no,
you know, to me, I think about an entire page where we're trying to get if there's a script, or when there's a script, and then trying to define the real estate, like how much does each panel get, and then I get into things where I don't want to have the same thing on the same page. It's like using the same word twice on a page or in a sentence in prose. Whereas, like, if we're going to show the one character's 3/4, side view, you can't do it again. We can't tell the same joke. We can't use the same trick. So then it's like you have to keep changing it from different, camera angles, zoom in, zoom out, just so it's not repetitive. And it can get tricky depending on what the page is and what we're trying to do with the page. And every page has a different, mission. And then once you know that, then you have to make each panel fit what it needs to be. You could have 2 great panels, but they may not work on the same page because they duplicate too much, if that makes sense. So it's like they're each okay on their own, but they're not okay together.
Well, that's where you break out the Wally Wood chart.
Yeah, right, exactly. Right.
Yeah, the whole page has to look good together.
Yeah,
because like the way I do it is like I think about it as a whole scene. Like, so if like a scene is like 3 or 4 pages, that's how I start. And then I break it down even further because like in the end, each panel has to flow into each other to create this, what's going on in that scene. So so it's like, so scene and then page and then panel.
Mike says, as artists, you also have to size the panel depending on the amount of dialogue. Sometimes I don't even. Sometimes the dialogue, I'm like, you know what, gonna leave it up to my letterer to figure out. I'm an ass when I draw. I do think though that there are times when I look at art, especially like Mike Turner stuff, where he takes a whole page, like he knows when to take a character out of the first panel and stretch them down their entire page. Like they break the panel, they're overlapping the other. I'm like, fuck, I can't do that. And when I try, it just looks bad. So, I'm like Kevin Smith. My style is I have no style. I don't do talking heads though. I know an artist that does a lot of talking heads, and his comics look like the stream.
Yeah,
like everyone's looking straight ahead.
That's why the Wally Wood chart, it's like you really do got, and it's like, and also depending on the dialogue also determines how you do the scene and who goes where.
Mhm.
because it's like you want to be able to put the dialogue in a way that makes sense for the reader. So you can't just decide, it's like, oh, I'll put this character here, put this character there, but their word balloons are on the opposite ends. It's like, no, it's like the lettering will sometimes dictate how the scene goes
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
So in the new Lords of the Cosmos, I co-wrote a story for another artist, and I don't write a whole lot. And one of the things that we ran into there was we tried to cram too much onto a page, and the artist that did that story for us was great. He did his best. Dave came in, Dave Sharp lettered it, and it wasn't right. He was cramming so much stuff, and I said, geez, I don't like that. It seems cramped. And he's like, you ran out of space, Jason. He goes, we don't have, you want all this in here, we have to do it. And we had to add a page to like relieve the pressure, and it reminded me of being involved with construction, where it's like, we can't do this, we don't have enough square footage, we have to change this has to move here, or this won't work. And so it's like we needed more space to give the artists and the letterer enough to work, because we literally we tried to put a gallon of milk in a 3/4 gallon jug. It just didn't work. So I mean, like, that was an education for me, coming at it from, hey, artists, make this work, and they did their best, and it was like we had to give them another page to make it work. We gave them that. It was like having an overflow tank. Then it worked, because they could add one more panel to that scene, and then another panel to go into the next narrative thread. So I mean, like, it's tough. I mean, like, we thought we had it licked on the page, but when it went to actually drawing it as panels, it didn't work until we gave
that's happened. And you know what's helping me with that? Doing my webtoon comic has been helping me with that whole panel thing, because you can only do like a panel per scroll. So now I'm like constantly worried about panels, and it's actually having an effect on me when I'm drawing traditionally on boards now for my other comic. I'm thinking about that. I'm starting to kind of consider where the panel layout and where stuff has to go. Trish, you have some art, because you have some comics that came in the mail.
Yes, I do.
Now,
yes, I do.
I gotta tell you something.
Okay.
There is a motto in my house. My children know it. Black folks around the country know it, but especially my children know it, and my wife knows it when we go south. And what is that saying, sweet wife of mine? Here, let me yourself. What is it?
Don't trust Mississippi.
That's right. But you have a comic about Mississippi. Let's see it.
Yes. I got today from Marcus Roberts. Let me take it out of the plastic. I got the first volume of Mississippi Zombie. Hold on, there.
Whoa.
And the second one comes out, and he signed it for me and everything. And the second one's coming out. It's in the previews catalog. He also did another special one, and all the artists got together. I have horrible glare. I'm so sorry, guys.
At your screen, it's okay.
There. Okay, but all the creators there over at Marcus's company, they all signed it. I can't really show it. It's not showing very well with the lighting. I wish I could show it better.
There it is. Yeah.
Ooh, and they all signed it for me, because they know once we back you, me and Mike, we are total 100%. Like every day when he was doing Protector, we pushed and I didn't think we were going to fund. And we did. We funded him and everything. And he's like, he knows how supportive me and Mike are. So he sent that as a thank you gift to us. So I was happy to get it.
William K. Holland says, Goblin Grim, is that an art book in your review screen? Is that your art book?
Yeah. Well, this one's it's a full blank comic. It's the Vampirella, and I'm working on another page, but the whole book is blank.
All right, so you're filling it up part.
Yeah, so I'm filling it up. We're trying to cover the boobies.
Yeah.
So I'm but yeah, all the pages are blank. So I'm trying to fill it all up, and it'll be going up on my eBay once that's full. And then I got like this one's just the cover, and this one's up on eBay currently, and it's actually got a bid on it right now.
That's my girl Psylocke.
Yeah, I was gonna do a Rogue one because I have an X-Men one too.
I get a restraining order against Psylocke cosplayers because you know.
Now, Goblin, what do those run? How much are they, out of curiosity?
It depends, like, because usually these I just put them up on eBay, and I usually start the bid at like either $10 or $20, depending on the art that I put on them. Like I got another one here covering the goods here, but punchline. But I've had some books that ended up selling for close to $200 by the time that the bidding is done. So
That's
it all
nice.
depends on the character and the art on it and stuff like that.
You know, I don't like how good you've gotten in such a short time either.
It's
I'm
the time.
yeah. Nah. You know, I don't like it. I'm calling shenanigans. I'm coming to investigate your house, Gabby. I'm coming.
Just tracing. That's all.
Yeah. I gotta find out what the hell's going on over
But
there.
you see, but that's how important like a live community is, because it's like if we were all in the same room together, we'd be like, oh, that's cool. Motherfucker, I'm gonna have to kill you. You know, and then you come in next week. It's like, look what I did.
Yeah. This will show you. This will.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Guys, we got to start wrapping up here. We are over an hour, and me and Lola got to get some sleep because tomorrow we have to catch the. They're getting ready to wrap up the Marvel experience here in Michigan. The Marvel. You know, they're taking the Marvel, a lot of original art and the movie props and a lot of comic book stuff. They're taking it around from city to city. It's been here in Michigan since what, November? So they're getting ready to leave in January 31st is the last day. And then in COVID kind of hit them hard. They had to buy, you have to buy your tickets for a certain time. So we were able to secure some tickets for noon. So we got to run over there and check it out. I think it's noon. Maybe one. I'll have to check. But we're gonna go over there and see this artwork. I understand it's a Jack Kirby piece they have behind like a thick frame of glass, and I wanna look at the frame. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Like Jack. Oh, so delicious.
It'd be like the Declaration. You're gonna steal that with the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
He's just gonna be standing there in front of the glass, rubbing his nipples and making cooing noises.
And then the security guard's gonna be like, another one.
Yeah. What are you gonna say, Trish?
Variant, Mike wants you to post pictures, or can you even do a feed while you're there about?
Oh yeah. I'm going live when I get in there.
And this is at noon tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Noon tomorrow. I'm gonna go live, and I'll post plenty of pictures too.
Okay.
I'm a photographer, so I'm taking my nice fancy camera.
Yeah.
And
So we're gonna
take
post a lot of stuff.
And I'm gonna post them to my Starstruck Visuals Photography Facebook page.
Yeah. I'll make sure to Trish. I'll send you some stuff directly too.
Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited about that. So we gotta get some sleep so we can get up and go that. And then keep an eye. It's supposed to be nationwide. It's supposed to go to every city. I know having 3-month engagements in cities takes a while, but I know they were in. I think they're headed to. I think they're headed to Chicago after this. I think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited to go in there. And there is one thing that I'm not gonna like. They have Spider-Man hanging upside down by his web, but he's hanging from a building, and the building has 2 windows on each side. And on the right side is a silhouette of Jack at his table, and on the left is a silhouette of Stan. And I'm not sure if I'm most prepared for that yet. So, and since I'm already in a hyper emotional state, you guys might see me tomorrow looking at the camera like, I might further pussify myself live on Facebook. So guys, also go over and check out. Here we go. Make sure I don't bring up porn. No way. I don't have any porn. I don't think I have.
Lies.
Yeah. I don't think I have any porn up.
No, I got all the porn.
Yeah. It's gotta be. If you want porn, I just see.
You should see what he drew for me.
Yeah, I'll check that out. Lord of the
it's hot.
Cosmos. And Jason, let's try to get you back on Indie Vote Livewire. That's a Tuesday night show. It's at 9. I know you said you got something on Tuesday, but we'll try to get you on at some point before this campaign ends.
Yeah, I'd love to come back. Honestly, this was a lot of fun. It was really lively, and anytime we can talk about Dragon's Lair in a serious manner, that's great.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Now, Livewire is this, but a lot worse. It's this one a lot where there's more cursing and gnashing of teeth.
Not really. I think Geekgasm is worse. We're more sexual.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah.
This episode was petty.
Lords of the Cosmos, you guys got I haven't reloaded it, but yeah, you guys got that. Yeah, there you go. 25 days left to get over there and pick it up. Lords of the Cosmos on Kickstarter. Make it so. And Goblin Grim, where's your eBay at?
Okay, so my eBay is still under my legal EA, and then BETABAI, and then 0.
Okay.
Like it's messed up. I wasn't thinking about something that was easy to search, but it's under my legal name of Elizabeth. So
yeah. So yeah, they're gonna have to.
fair.
So do not get shocked when you see like I thought it was Seth. No. So yeah, check that out. Go by. All right, also, Seth has some. He made some shirts, starving comic book artist shirts, which I'm gonna buy very soon. But I got yelled at by an artist. Don't call yourself a starving comic book artist. That puts you down. I'm like, what the fuck? Get the fuck out of here. I'm starving. I'm hungry right now. What am I gonna eat?
Isn't that more like a figure of speech? I mean, it doesn't really mean you're. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
And depends because sometimes I'm just naturally hungry. Like I got a 3-day-old fillet of fish I'm considering eating.
Ew.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
It's one of those things that most
We got more.
most
dinner
artists,
left
even on a
over.
professional level.
Yeah. Those shirts are what, $20? Was it 20?
Most artists, even on a professional level, still have to work another job.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Your shirts, how much are they? How much are your starving comic
The
book
shirts?
artists? Yeah.
They were 20. I think I lowered the price on them a bit. It's through Teespring.
Okay.
Now he's gonna starve. The price is dropping. Starving.
All right.
I just got the magnets in too. Like these are pretty cool. These were like a little promo things. So anytime I have a sketch cover that I saw,
Are those available on eBay too, or from your personal like web store?
I think that they're just on this.
What was that?
Those are just on your Teespring, correct?
yeah, those were just through Teespring.
Okay. So yeah,
Goblin, send me a link to it on Facebook, please.
All right, I will. Yeah, I'll do that here in a second.
We're gonna check it out. And everybody, tell me where you found it.
I was just trying to bring it up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, were you okay?
Oh, I was just trying to bring up the page, but everything was getting wonky on the sound, so I'm like, I think I'm running too much stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll send
Where
a
can
link.
you be found outside of that?
Mostly on Instagram, Facebook, pretty much if you just, even Twitter, if you just search the hashtag Goblin Grim. I did finally break down and get a TikTok. I haven't really posted much on there. I don't know really what to do with TikTok, but I got one.
Dance around with your art.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Posted a couple of videos of mostly art or their drug.
You gotta get in trouble on there. I can see that now. I'm about to follow you on TikTok. I'll make an account just to follow you. Jason, where can you be found at?
Probably the easiest way to find me is on Instagram and Twitter. I'm just at Lenox Artist, Lenox Artist, and then I have my Facebook page, which is my art page is Facebook.com/Jason Lenox Illustrator. If you want to find my personal page, go for it. I post a mood of the day and a lot of memes. It's a pretty fun page. Not so much art on there. And then my website's just jasonlenox.com, JASONLENOX.com. Easy to find, man.
Sweet. Trish, where can you be found at?
I'm on Facebook. I'm creeping around Artist Alley or watching Henri's show, buying comics from him. So if you need me or Mike, we're on Facebook.
Awesome. Miss Lage.
Oh, you can find me at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS. That's my main portfolio site, and also it has links to all my social media. It has links to my Kickstarter for Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, in its last week on Kickstarter, and it also has. I finally have a proper gallery link to all my uncensored House of Bob furry artwork that everyone's been asking for. So now you know what I'm talking about. Everything's there now.
And Indie Princess, they can find you where?
Pretty much any social media. Just look up the Indie Princess. But I'm gonna be like Meredith soon and get a link tree so I can just have
That's
That's the lazy way to do it. Of course.
You can always find me on IndieVolt Livewire every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. and on Geekgasm every Wednesday night at 9 p.m.
And I'm Varian Grant on all social media, KYD_V on Twitter. I don't remember my Grindr account name. I don't. People, I need to stop making that joke. Somebody's gonna actually have a Grindr account and be like, Varian, you want to hook up? I'm married. Yeah, but do you want to hook up? That's gonna be the weirdest thing. I say, do you have food? Do you have food? They were like, I hear you eat 3-day-old filet of fish sandwiches. I'm not worried about
no Grindr for you.
Yeah. So find me on social media, indievolt.com, my personal website, the poorly named, poorly timed winreriot.com. It's my personal website. Please only go and looking for art. That's all you'll find. You'll find no plans of sabotage or coups or anything there. It's just artwork. And then for distributing your indie comic, Liberty Entertainment Distribution Group, ledg.us, helping indie comics get in the stores for 5 years now. So really excited about that. You guys, thanks for being on the show. This has been IndieVolt Geekgasm, and I'm gonna run the outro, Lola, and tell everybody. So that's it. Here we go. Outro.
Ciao.